Identity. What you believe about who you are. This is foundational. This is what drives every decision that you make. We often build up our identity by what we have or have not achieved, or by status we do or don't have, or by a position that we were born into, however fortunate or unfortunate that may be. Or sadly, by our possessions or lack thereof. I mean, sure, these things play a big part of our lives, but none of it really matters. Imagine with me for a moment that you have achieved some phenomenal task or gained some high-level status, and suddenly it all goes away. Or maybe you've achieved nothing and have a low-level status. Does that then define you forever? Or you've achieved nothing, have some low-level status, and then suddenly you are brought into great abundance and high-level status. Would you have the character to be able to handle it? If your identity is wrapped up in your circumstance, you're always just a phone call away from coming unraveled. Now, most of us have an incomplete or distorted or flat-out incorrect beliefs about who we are. And it's not really our fault. It's the fault of scripts or tapes. I assume from a time when tapes were a thing. But these are the words, phrases, and images that play over and over and over in our minds. And they start to be created at an early age by parents and friends and teachers and influential events and circumstances. But then we start to take over. Like we discussed in the last video, this idea of a feedback loop. And scripts are that frequency or the means by which we get stuck in the loop. See, once we have a particular script playing in our minds, it becomes nearly impossible to break free from. We start viewing everything in life through the lens of that script. This is where the idea of my truth versus your truth comes in. It feels true for you because it aligns with your script. And if it doesn't, then you automatically want to reject it. And because our thought processes determine our actions, we start to make consumption decisions based on whether it complements our script or not. Every book we read, every video or movie we watch, every conversation we have, or where we go and visit, we subconsciously find that which resonates with our script, feeding it, making it seem more true in our minds. And we never stop building a web of beliefs supporting and justifying our precious inner monologue. So it's not really our fault. We've become slaves to what was implanted from outside before we were really able to make any choices. It's not really our fault. At least until we know this. Then it becomes our fault if we are unwilling to do what is necessary to change. Negative scripts will drive a negative life. If you want a positive life, you need to change and develop positive scripts. But change can be difficult. There are so many voices and images fighting for the opportunity to be your next script, your next tape. I believe in order to weed out what is false and unfruitful and be motivated to overcome the power of our negative scripts, we need to start with two basic assumptions. Number one, there is something greater than ourselves. And number two, we each individually were created for a purpose. If you believe this, if you start there, then I believe it'll send you on a wild ride of discovery and questioning that will have a profoundly positive impact in your life. Now, I don't pretend to have all the answers in the universe, but I have come to believe that there is an intelligent being that created all things, even science and its limited observations of all things created. And I believe that this being created my life and my purpose, and I believe that that purpose is simply to be in relationship with this being, with the creator of the universe, to align myself with the power afforded me by this relationship in order to help others overcome the destructive scripts in their own lives so that they can find and harness this inexhaustible power to bring about brilliance in themselves and in the lives of the people that they touch, creating a domino effect to the scale of what is typically called a movement, a tidal wave of momentum. And when you have an identity like that, your scripts and what you consume all align with that mindset, with that belief. Wow. We will not find ourselves looking inside ourselves, but in seeking out that which is greater than ourselves. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with me. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel or check out @Sam Haugestoon on Twitter for daily encouragement. God bless. I'll talk to you soon.